Chapter 1. Landforms, World and India. Ponder point. Where do you live? On hills or near water bodies? Have you been to places where the land is different from where you live? Let's read why it happens. Reading objectives: mountains, valleys and passes, plateaus, plains and deserts, coasts, peninsulas, bay and islands, rivers. India's physical features. Our blue planet, the Earth has 30% land surface, but it is not uniform. At some places it rises high, while at other places it is flat. The different features that make up Earth's surface are called landforms. The main landforms are mountains, plains, plateaus and deserts. How landforms are formed. On the surface of the Earth, some forces like water, wind and ice act and they form and change the land surface. Some changes are formed by processes occurring deep inside the Earth. Mountains, valleys and passes. Rocky masses of land that rise higher than the surroundings are called mountains and hills. Mountains have very steep slopes and high peaks, while hills are smaller and lower. Mountains usually occur in long rows called mountain ranges. Mountains and valleys. Types of mountains. Fold mountains are formed when two large land masses push against each other. The Himalayas, the Rockies in North America and the Alps in Europe are fold mountains. Formation of fold mountains. Get to know more. The Himalayan ranges were formed about 60 million years ago when moving India northwards, crashed against the rest of Asia. Mount Everest is the highest peak of the world. It is located in Nepal. Volcanic mountains are formed when molten rock formed deep inside the earth rises to the surface, formating a volcano. Mount Fuji in Japan and Mount Vesuvius in Italy are volcanic mountains. Block mountains are formed by splitting and sliding of large blocks of land. Examples are the Sierra Nevada mountains in the USA. Valleys are formed by glaciers or rivers wearing away rocks on mountains. A number of valleys have rivers flowing through them. Famous valleys in India are the Kashmir Valley and the Brahmaputra Valley. The Colorado Plateau, USA. The Prairies, USA. The Sahara Desert, Africa. Plateaus, plains and deserts. A large area of land that is higher than the surroundings and more or less flat at the top is known as a plateau. The Tibetan Plateau in the Himalayas is the highest plateau in the world. It is known as the roof of the world. Plains are flat lands with gentle slopes. Rivers flowing from the mountains bring fertile soil to the plains, so crops grow well here. Plains are thickly populated areas in the world. The prairies of the USA produce large amount of wheat and grains. Deserts are large, extremely dry areas of land. Very few plants grow in deserts. In summers, days are hot and nights are cool. During winters, the days are cool and nights are cold. Get to know more. There are also cold deserts. These are regions of permanent cold where very little life exists. For example, the Antarctica. Coasts, peninsulas, bays and islands. Coast is a place where land meets the sea. Some coasts are sandy and straight, others are rocky. Peninsula is a land mass which projects into the sea and is surrounded by water on three sides. The tip of a peninsula is called a cape. The Arabian Peninsula is the largest in the world. A bay is a water body running into land and surrounded on three sides by land. The Bay of Bengal, along the eastern coast of India, is an example of bay. An island is a land mass surrounded on all sides by water. Australia is the world's largest island. The Arabian Peninsula, Panama Bay, Oahu, Hawaii Island, Australia. Enrich yourself. A strait is a narrow passage of water connecting two seas or two large areas of water. An example of the Palk Strait that lies between India and Sri Lanka, a tributary joining the main river. The delta formed by River Ganga. Rivers. Rivers are long streams of water. Rivers are two types. A. Perennial rivers have water throughout the year. They start in the mountains from melting snow in glaciers. B. In southern India, rivers are formed by rainwater. They do not have water throughout the year. Such rivers are called seasonal rivers. Rivers ultimately flow into the sea. Along the course of a river, several smaller rivers join the main river. They are called tributaries of the main river. Before entering the sea, the river becomes very slow. It carries a lot of sediments. This keeps getting deposited on the way and causes the river to break into channels or distributaries. All distributaries rivers spread out like a triangle before falling into the sea. They form a delta. The largest delta is formed by the Brahmaputra and Ganga rivers. The diverse landforms of India. India's physical features. India has high peaks of the world, vast and fertile plains, rugged plateaus, hot dry deserts and long sandy beaches. India is a land of diverse landforms. Location on world map. In the continent of Asia, India is located in the south. It is the largest of the 7 continents. The southern part of India is just out into the sea. This is called the Indian Peninsula. It has Indian Ocean on the south, the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east. Afghanistan and Pakistan lies to the northwest of India. In north there is China and Nepal, northeast has Bhutan and to the east are Myanmar and Bangladesh. India has the islands of Maldives on the southwest, Sri Lanka on the south, and Indonesia on the southeast across the oceans. Physical features. Plains, hills, mountains, a desert, plateaus, a long coastline, forests and islands are known as the physical features of this land. Something to do. Draw a picture sharing a beach, mountain or a desert and color it. On the basis of physical features, India can be divided into 5 main regions: the northern mountains, the northern plains, the Deccan Plateau, the coastal plains and islands, the western desert. Ganga, Brahmaputra, Godavari, Krishna, Narmada and Mahanadi rivers flow through the land. India is divided into 28 states and union territories. In spite of these differences, all Indians are united by the love they have for their country. Searching dictionary. Physical features, the natural landforms found on the Earth's surface. Delta, a triangle-shaped landform formed where a river flows into the sea. Island, landmass surrounded on all sides by water. Cape, the tip of peninsula. Tributaries, smaller rivers that join a main river. These tributaries, the channels into which a main river breaks up. Word to know. The mountains, plains, plateaus and deserts are the main landforms. A mountain is a rocky landmass that rises higher than the surroundings. A plateau is large area of land, higher than the surroundings and flat on top. Deserts are large, extremely dry areas of land. Coasts, peninsulas, bays, islands and rivers are other features of landforms. India is a part of the continent of Asia. India has high mountains, deserts, plains, plateaus and bay, peninsula and many rivers, all together make the landform unique.